Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Avery made this video and pretty much interesting. Let's watch.
He wants to see that in Mark 13:32, the word know, the word oiden, can mean to tell something or declare something, right?
I've checked all the Bible versions. None of them say the word declare. Be aware, behold, not tell, not tell.
Wait.
Not tell. Yeah.
Keep reading. Keep reading.
Oh my gosh.
Keep reading.
Consider, have, know, look, perceive, see, be sure, tell.
You got cooked.
This is what I mean.
You got cooked.
About
You got cooked.
So it's literally funny how people can behave this way, and no wonder people wouldn't want to. Some wouldn't want to debate Avery because they already know how this guy acts, how childish he acts, and then he has these minions that always go around with him, without even paying much attention to what debate is all about. They only scream and then shout, "He got cooked," as you can see in that video. So, but then when you look at the word "oiden" and the context it came in, it can never mean to tell. Rather, it means to know. This is why you would see, and Brother Hashim is right. This is why you see over 50 translations. None of these translations use the word to tell. In other words, Jesus actually knew, but he wasn't authorized to tell. All you would see is to know and what looks like it, not to tell. And this is why he said that he has researched this over 50 translations, if I'm not mistaken, and none of them used the word to tell. So now you're telling me that these translators are not well versed as Avery? Or the reverse is the case. Avery is not well versed as these people. Remember, I said in the context it came, and it is clearly when you look at Matthew 13:34, if I'm not mistaken, it says regarding that day and hour, no one knows, even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. So this is how the text comes. So it clearly states no one knows except the Father only. So you can't tell me that Jesus knows, but then he is hiding it and then refuse to tell people, except he has the authority from God. After all, Jesus is God. Does he have to wait for someone to give him the authority to tell the people? No. And that's the contradiction there. If you are God, then you have no reason to wait for anyone to give you authority to tell the people, to announce to the people when that day and hour will come. Rather, you are God. You have this prerogative to announce, if you will, to announce it. But this simply shows that Jesus doesn't know the time. He doesn't know the day and hour the last day is going to come, or he is going to return back to earth. Again, we would see in several passages of the Bible where Jesus grew in wisdom. We would also see where Jesus doesn't even know that a fig tree doesn't have fruit, despite it not being the season. Ordinarily, you're supposed to know, from study, from experience, that this is not the season, and there's no way you would see fruits on the fig tree. But Jesus doesn't know. He was hungry, he went there, he didn't see fruit. In fact, he got angry and then cursed the fig tree. So these are things that shows that Jesus literally doesn't know. In fact, Origin says, if anyone dares to say that the Son does know the day and hour, let him consider the words. Let him consider the words. The Son does not know, but the Father only. So this is clear cut. This is clear cut. I understand that Avery and his goons or minions are only trying to go around this verse to show that Jesus actually knows, but he doesn't know. And literally he said he doesn't know. And again, this reminds me of the verse in the glorious Quran where it says, وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمَ أَأَنْتَ قُلْتَ لِلنَّاسِ اتَّخِذُونِي وَأُمِّيَ إِلَٰهَيْنِ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. O Isa, the son of Mary, did you tell the people to take you and your mother as gods besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Of course, we know the answer, okay? But when you look at the Bible, the entire Bible, there's no place where Jesus said he's God, where he literally said, I am God, or where he said, worship me. But then the people worship and take him as God. Again, you wouldn't see where Jesus said he knows the time and hour, but then people say, no, he knows. Even if Jesus himself come in and say, I do not know the day, I do not know the hour, only the Father knows. You would still see people coming out and saying, no, Jesus knows. But then he's refusing to tell people because he wasn't given the authority to tell people. If this was the case, Jesus would have said so. Okay, and in fact, there are words that you can use for tell. Okay, not hiding. There are words you can use, to translate tell. And again, when you look at the Greek version of that verse, it doesn't give room for that translation, meaning to tell. We understand that it is, modern day apologists, Christian apologists, that are proposing this, that, okay, it could take the meaning tell, just to cover that fact that Jesus doesn't know. And they understand that this would bring lots and lots of dents to their ministry, the ministry of, Jesus is God and all that. It would bring lots and lots of dent to that ministry. Imagine waking up and your members convinced that Jesus is not God. Okay, so you would have to put out something that would keep them on check, that would keep them online, and you would have to convince them, even if it means you lying, you would have to convince them that it means to tell and not literally Jesus not knowing. Okay, again, when you look at the over 50 translations, none of them use this word to tell. Okay, rather they said Jesus doesn't know. And I personally believe, and if you're sincere as a Christian, you would agree with me that all these translators know exactly what they're doing. They understand the Greek language, they understand the context of the verse, and this is why they say the word there, hiding, it means to know. Okay, so you can see lots of meaning or lots of context that word could come, and it would translate to tell, because when you look at, they're just giving him the meanings of the word hiding, which could take tell, but not in this context. Okay, and again, this is why you don't see the over 50 translations using that word to tell, rather they use to know. So with this I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Catch you in the next one.
That doesn't make sense, Austin.
But it does.
No, it doesn't, Austin.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Okay, can you know everything and not know something?
No.
Can you? Okay. Did Jesus know the hour?
No, he did not know the hour.
Okay, so that means Jesus was not all-knowing.
This is where I would point back to the Trinity, that
Okay.
they were together.
All right, but Jesus didn't know the hour,
Jesus
so
did not
he
know the
was
hour.
not all-knowing.
Okay.
And God is all-knowing,
Yes, God the Father is all-knowing.
but not God the Son. So they're not equal.
I don't.
Austin, come on, man. You're such a good guy, bro. Just think of what you're saying, right?
Okay.
You're saying he's co-equal eternally. Co-eternal, co-equal, right? But then you're saying Jesus on earth didn't know things. He wasn't able to do things. So he cannot be equal to the one that's capable to do everything. Either you have to say that at that time he was no longer God, or you have to say that he knew everything and could do everything. Neither one of them would work with your theology.